it was carrying that sense of discovery of beauty that you get as a kid, carrying that into our adult lives and making a job for ourselves. We used our arts background and our business background and carried it forward and gave it a shot. Opened the store December 6th, I think it was, 1971. And that was our first exhibit in 72, was Byron with his watercolors, having this idea of showing just a one-person artist and launching a full exhibit, having an opening reception, having food, inviting community in. A show will end on a Sunday. The artist will pick up Monday. Then we will strip the room, put all of the sculpture stands in the middle of the room, so we're dealing with bare walls. Then we have to patch the wall, repaint the wall. Then the new artist comes in Monday afternoon, delivers, and then it's like a puzzle. We're laying things out, we're changing our minds. All of the staff will come in and give an opinion, and then we walk away and leave it to Kristen, who hangs it all.
It is easier when it's a solo show, just because of course the artist's style is usually pretty contained, and a lot of times they'll work within kind of not so much a theme, but it's one suite of work that they've been working on together, so it automatically kind of works as a grouping. But with an artist like Marilyn Frasca, she actually prefers not to have any 3D art in the room, so it will just be her work, what height we like to hang work at, how to figure out as far as the math of measuring the piece and measuring the hanging system on the back, and how that figured into figuring out exactly where to put that nail on the wall. For me at least, I know everyone learns differently, but it was something that I just learned hands-on. Kind of something that you just organically figure out once you have all the work in front of you. And some shows are more difficult than others, and you really do end up switching things around a lot. I've rehung shows before, or parts of shows, because once you do have them on the wall, it just doesn't fit right. You're not really trying to add anything to the artist's work, you're just trying to make sure that nothing we do takes away from it. And the artists do, for the most part, entirely their own framing and doing all the wiring, etc., and the hanging systems on the back, and that can vary greatly between artists as well as greatly between pieces that an artist brings. It's a rare thing when we get pieces from one artist and they're all hung exactly the same with the wire on the back, and I'm always, oh yay. It's try to make sure it's level and that you're using something that it's going to keep it on the wall securely, which is, you know, one of our concerns, is that they're all safe and stable for the entire time they're here. There's never any way of knowing what's going to sell and what's not going to sell. When it comes to differing opinions as far as how to hang a show, or, you know, as long as there is no really strong reason not to, I'd say that we probably would lean towards doing what the artist wants, just because you do want them to be happy and they know their work better than we do. So I think that I would defer to that. But again, it's, you know, it's partially about making sure that you're making the artist happy, that their vision for what the show and what their artwork is going to be is realized. Olympia is a great area for the arts. We have a really strong arts community. You know, there's a long history of, you know, obviously the Childhood Zen Gallery has been around since, you know, 1971. People come when they're in town to visit us from other places, and they're just amazed that you know, the gallery has lasted that long.
the idea of being an artist was never in my mind. I never thought of art as a profession, and even till this day, I have trouble thinking of myself as an artist. I think of myself as somebody who draws, who loves to make prints, who... Rashenda seems to know that about me. She is somebody who respects the fact that I do my work, and I do it for a variety of reasons. And she says from time to time, "What do you think, Marilyn? Do you want to have a show?" And I say, "This seems like a good time," or "No, maybe in a couple of years." Or so Childhood Zen Gallery has been very kind to local artists, and I, now that I am 80, I am very happy to have a very relaxed place to work and a wonderful atmosphere and relationship with Rashenda, Bill, and their staff. But no, the body of work is always a body of work. There's never a special body of work. This is the book for the show that's coming up in October. The order I'm trying to establish now is on the board in the sunroom, because that's a maquette that I try to give to Kristen. So what one needs to do in building an exhibition is to create a community of images that inform one another, so that a common feeling is created. Rashenda has a business, and it's not just a gallery, it's a shop, and she needs to have an income, and she has a staff, and she knows the balance between having shows where maybe work won't sell and having shows that incorporate a lot of different artists, sculptors and printmakers and pottery and furniture and so on. And it tends to be more of a place to shop, and people find these gorgeous things. I met Joe Feddersen, who taught at Evergreen, great printmaker, and he said, "You know, Marilyn, you can make textures with a print. You don't have to do all this." And I loved them, and I would look at them, and I'd see things, and I'd say, "Oh my God!" Sort of, they would look kind of like this, and I would see things, you know, and I would just say, "Okay, this is a hand. Here's the other hand. Here's one hand. Here's a head. Here's a little nose and a mouth. I mean, who is that? Hello?" And then I'd kind of go into it and draw it and find it. And till this day, that's the process. I make a print. I use a variety of tools to make different kinds of textures. I use different inks, and I run it through a press, and I make one print, and then that's the print that I let dry, and that's the print that I work with. But it's almost like a contract I have with my drawings. If you see it, you have to draw it. Otherwise, we're not going to show you anything anymore. And I'm telling you, I had that experience once. I said, "I'm not doing that." And the whole drawing disappeared. I could not find it anymore. But I did the basket. It took me weeks. I did each little thing. But inside the basket was still an unknown texture. I left it for a month. Came back, and it was a seagull. And I thought, this is going to be the silliest drawing I've ever made. Here's the Dalai Lama with a basket on his lap, and in the basket is a seagull. I think that sometimes the pictures I'm making are not for me. I don't know who they're for, but they do find homes. People know that this belongs to them. It's almost as if I have them for a while, and then they have to get to where they belong. The only way to do that is to have an exhibit so people can choose them. There is an interconnected source of energy, imagery, need I say, love, that connects all people. And that is a place that I feel that I dip into for whatever reason. And it's really a joy to have someone be connected to it.
Continued around the room, and I finally came up to the kind of where I should have started at, but there was somebody standing there initially. And I came up to a piece called Plain Air that she had just done this year. And for some reason, it really spoke to me.
This town, Olympia, it is an amazing place. It's an amazing place because somehow the arts find a role inside the culture of this town. The arts in Olympia seem to have an integrity and an intelligence that you won't find in a town this size. Anyway, that's it. Olympia, yes, yay.